Hey guys, welcome to Cape Cowl Café. I'm Nemo, and today I will be casting my dream Justice League roster for James Gunn's DC universe. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys that I am running a giveaway. If you want to find out how to enter, click on this video right here when you're done watching this one. If you guys enjoyed the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button, but let's just get right into this. All right, let's start off with the face of the league, Superman. This is the easiest one. Obviously, we have David Cornsweet as Superman. We just saw his movie in July. It was incredible, and I thought it was a great start to the new universe. I really enjoyed seeing all of his interactions with the Justice Gang, and so it just makes me excited to see what other characters he can interact with in this universe, especially Batman. All right, next, we got Wonder Woman. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. Wonder Woman in the comics is 6'2". This greatly reduces our pool to pull from for actresses. So I think it's okay if we kind of get rid of that height limitation, because Wonder Woman can be different heights and different mediums. It doesn't really matter that much at the end of the day. Batman and Superman's heights change all the time. But my pick for Wonder Woman would have to be Adria Arjona. I probably just butchered that pronunciation, but whatever. She's 5'7", which is a little on the shorter side for Wonder Woman, but I think we can make it work. Even though this isn't a perfect casting, it's still better than the brain-dead fan cast that I see all the time. Alexandra Daddario would not be a good Wonder Woman. This looks corny. Stop posting about it. It doesn't work, okay? I think it would be cool to get a different type of Wonder Woman, especially after Gal Gadot drove that character into the ground. Because like the first movie was pretty good until the last act, when they had, pulled out the big CGI god fight with Ares. It reminded me a lot of Captain America, the first Avenger, because you have the first two acts of the movie, which are really good, and then the last one just kind of throws it all out the window. But Wonder Woman 1984 was terrible. And not to mention...
Kal-El, no!
What are we doing here? Come on. So I think it's time for a new Wonder Woman. Let's move on. There's so much that you could do with this character in the new universe, and there's so many parts of her mythos that you just haven't touched. And you could even, try giving her a different kind of costume like this one. You don't have to stick with the same design every single time. Okay, next on the list, we have Martian Manhunter. Now, Martian Manhunter is kind of a tricky one because you only really have to worry about the voice and maybe the face if they're doing motion capture with the face. Or maybe James Gunn will just decide to do everything practically. That would be kind of cool. Either way, my pick would be Sterling K. Brown. I know he's a little on the older side. He's almost 50, but I think he'd be a wonderful pick for the character, and he could definitely do him justice. And I would personally like to see more of Martian Manhunter's detective side, like where he disguises himself as a human. I think the best way to do this character justice in these new movies would be to really lean into the fish out of water aspect of his character, but not in the comedic way that they always do, like, Captain America going to the future and, oh, all these movies I never saw, or Wonder Woman going into man's world. I think you need to lean into it in a really sad way and just explore the loss and the depression that he suffers. Like, he lost his home world, his entire family, and this dude is thousands of years old. He is an old dude, and he probably has tons of loved ones that he will never see again. You could really make a good story about him coming to terms with loving his new home and the people there and, wanting to protect it. They could really make him the opposite of Superman, because Superman, he grew up looking like everyone else. He had human parents. He always pretty much fit in, but Martian Manhunter doesn't. And it would be really touching to see a story about him choosing to love and protect a home that hasn't fully accepted him yet. I think that would be an amazing way to go about his story. All right, next on the list is another easy one. We got Green Lantern. Now, the thing that's interesting is we already have 3 confirmed Green Lanterns for this universe. We have Guy Gardner, who we've already seen in the Superman movie, and then we have Aaron Pierre as John Stewart and Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan in the Lantern show that's coming out. TBD. But I'm assuming that they would choose John Stewart to be in the Justice League roster for this universe, mainly because of his age. It looks like Hal Jordan is already retired. He looks kind of old. Too old to be on a roster with Superman, who is in his early 30s. Batman's supposed to be in his early to mid 30s. And Aaron Pierre is in his early 30s, so I think that he is probably the one that James is eyeing for that roster. But also, I'm just a huge fan of the DCAU and the Justice League cartoons, Justice League Unlimited. So I really think that they should go with John Stewart. Just because of that. I mean, I'm going to be honest here. I really like John Stewart. I think he is the best Green Lantern, especially with all that sketchy stuff, you know, Hal Jordan did back in the day. We're not going to talk about that. Next one on the list, Flash. So I've been seeing a huge spike in popularity for the idea of Grant Gustin's Flash returning in this universe. And I don't like it. I like him. He was pretty good, you know, with the material that he was given. But I want to see someone else. And I definitely don't want to see Ezra Miller. I never want to see him again. He was terrible. I think that Barry has been given way too much attention in the last decade. And I think it's time for someone else. I really want to see Wally West in this new universe. Am I biased because of my love for the old Justice League cartoons?
You got me.
We should just get something new this time. So I think the man for the job is Charlie Rowe. I think he is the perfect youthful look while still looking a little more mature, because in this universe, Nightwing is supposed to exist, so that implies that Wally West would also be around that same age if they were on the Titans team together. And I just think that he would be a perfect Wally West. I mean, you could dye his hair if you want, I don't really care, but I think it would be cool to see Barry in this universe eventually, maybe as a retired member of the JSA, if they want to kind of tweak that history a little bit, because I do like the idea of Barry and Hal being friends, and if Hal Jordan's older, I think Barry should also be a little older too. Now, as for what Wally would look like costume-wise, I think it would be cool, you know, if they went with the classic Wally West Flash design, but I think it would be super cool if they went with his rebirth look with the red and the silver and the blue lightning. Also, just a side note, like 10 years ago, this guy would have been perfect for Spider-Man. Okay, so given the fact that I love the DCAU so much and I'm always talking about those old cartoons, you're probably waiting for me to mention Hawkgirl, but I don't want to see her on this team. And I know that the one from Superman is a different character from the one in the cartoons. One is Kendra Saunders, one is Shia Hall, but I just don't really like her that much in the Superman movie, and I don't think that there should be two of them flying around. So yeah, I don't want to see her. But that leads me to my next character for the Justice League, Zatanna. I think Zatanna would be an excellent 7th member for the Justice League, especially because she's so underrated and it would give her a lot of exposure with the general public. And it could even lead to things like a Justice League Dark TV show and, you know, give us some more exposure to some of those darker characters like Swamp Thing and Constantine and Etrigan. I think it would be an excellent decision. Plus, she would sell tickets, if you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you were saying.
Okay, anyway, so my pick for Zatanna is Ella Purnell. You've probably seen her in the recent Fallout series, but I think that she is just perfect for Zatanna. I mean, she looks like she was made to play this dark, magical character. Just look at her. She is Zatanna. And if they wanted to incorporate, you know, some aspects of her lore and her history with Batman, they could give her, you know, some kind of love triangle between her, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Because, you know, we don't really see a lot of those personal drama type stories in the Justice League very often. They're usually pretty professional. So I think it would be interesting if they added something like that. I also think it would be really cool if they added Zatanna to this universe. Maybe he's the one that trained Batman on escapism like he did in the comics. I think that would be an excellent idea. My train of thought is that she could just be kind of like the Doctor Strange of the Justice League, you know, the resident magic user. And I think that they should save Dr. Fate for other stories like the JSA, or, you know, he would be one of the retired characters, kind of like Barry or Hal Jordan or Zatanna. All right, you've made it this far. You're wondering who I'm going to pick to play Batman. It's not Robert Pattinson, it's not Alan Ritchson, and it's not Jensen Ackles. I wish, but he's too old. The internet has been scouring Hollywood for the best person to play Batman in this new universe. And they found a few good ones. And so I'm here to present my 2 favorites because I couldn't just pick one. All right, the first option is Brandon Sklenar. He's got a gruff voice and a dark look that would be perfect for Batman. And the second option, which I think I like a little more, is Aaron Taylor Johnson. Now, I'm less thinking about his performance in Kraven the Hunter and more Bullet Train. If you've seen that movie, you know how good he is in it. He really is a great actor. And in that movie, he kind of looks like Bruce Wayne in that suit that he wears. You know, you just cut his hair, shave him a little bit. That's Bruce Wayne. But the best thing about Aaron Taylor Johnson is he's not a stranger to superhero movies. Like, he played Kraven, he played Kick-Ass, and he also played Quicksilver in Avengers Age of Ultron. So because of his willingness to play those superhero roles, it would probably make him easier to work with as an actor, and his experience would just be way more valuable than an unknown who's never played a character like that before. those would have to be my 7 members for the Justice League roster in the DC universe. But I'm gonna throw you guys 2 bonuses because I gotta hop on the bandwagon for some of these. A lot of people have been saying Shane Top would be a perfect Booster Gold. I completely agree. Thumbs up to that one. And there's a video circulating of Alan Richson teasing that he might be playing Wildcat, which I think would work really well. He's not old enough to play a present day Wildcat. It would have to be in some kind of flashback movie or show with the JSA, but he's totally got the look for it. All right, that's going to be about it for today, guys, but I want to kick it to you now. Let me know in the comments below who your dream Justice League roster would be in this new universe. If you guys liked the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button. And just a reminder, I am running a giveaway. Go check out that video I mentioned earlier and enter to win some great prizes. Winners will be announced this Friday, September 19th. I really appreciate all the support. We just passed 300 subscribers. Let's keep going. I'm having so much fun with this, and I love making great videos for you guys because it just makes me happy when you guys are entertained by what I do. It really does. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.